Hey, 12 more days! What's up, as a culture detective here investigating your favorite albums. And today, it is a rare moment because in the last few days and also in the following few days, I'm going to be extremely busy. And today is one of the few days where I have some time in the morning to film an album review, which is why I'm going to take the opportunity, take a stab, if you will, to talk about the new Lorde album, Virgin. So, New Zealand singer, songwriter, pop star Lorde is back with her fourth full-length studio album. And this is extremely anticipated. I mean, tons of Lorde fans and pop fans, indie music fans have been craving a new Lorde album since many years ago. So essentially we have, when I started reviewing music, that is, in 2017 she released Melodrama, which was a huge hit. It has a lot of amazing, personal, visceral songs and just great songwriting and production overall. Now, 4 years later, she returned with the album Solar Power, which was honestly a humongous disappointment. Huge disappointment. Basically, Lorde has resorted to making very generic, uninspired, summery pop music that has little to no personality whatsoever. The lyrics also do not sound like they come from a genuine place. Solar Power is genuinely one of the more disappointing albums to be released in the last few years when it comes to mainstream pop music. Or, I guess, mainstream-ish pop music. So anyways, with the release of Virgin, a lot of fans are left to wonder which direction will Lorde be going for this album, which started off with some very much debated, very heated album covers. Of course, you have the Virgin album cover, which shows an X-ray of, I guess, what is going on outside. Shows an X-ray of what it seems to be an IUD, which is a contraception method for women to be a thing placed inside her vagina. And that's not the only thing. YouTube, don't do anything about this video, please. Because she releases a deluxe album cover, and I don't know if it's a meme or not, but, and I'm not going to show it here either, because it's truly not safe for work, but the first time I saw the deluxe edition of this album, the cover of the deluxe edition, is an X-ray of a dildo inside her. And I don't know if it's a meme or not, because a little bit later, as it turns out, that is not the official, currently standing album cover for the deluxe edition of Virgin. The new cover, it's just not X-ray, it's just a photo of her vagina. And of course it's like she's wearing some like clear, like translucent pants, so she's not bearing it all or anything like that, because that would have been problematic for the record label, I would assume. But even so, these are some extremely sexually bold album covers, and in one sense, I guess I could see a lot of artists sort of doing this sexual liberation thing again. Like, I think in the mid to late 2010s, this was also kind of a movement, and now it's sort of coming back, where artists are just really exposing themselves. And yes, in one sense, it's sexually liberating, but I also think that a lot of it is basically chalked up to shock value, like, holy shit, if I own this on vinyl, I may have to hide it somewhere kind of situation. But yeah, you know what, it's like her artistic choice as well, and I guess the shock is part of the art, I would assume. But anyways, enough with the album covers. Now, the music on the album is actually not that bad, because we are hearing a return to form for Lorde. The generic, summery pop music on Solar Power, you can say goodbye to that. This is a return to form for Lorde. We have a lot of skeletal and minimalist production, a lot of minimalist beats and synths, and we have Lorde's very intense vocals as expected, and just pretty skeletal and simple throughout the entire album. Now, the album opener Hammer is probably my favorite song off of the entire album. It's a pretty exciting synthy opener with swooshing electronic sounds, blissful keyboards, where Lorde sort of sings about singing at the fountain, signing postcards, just living life and being alive and being happy, and it's a really nice and uplifting opener for the album. Now we have the lead-up single, What Was That?, which starts off with a pretty stripped-back intro, and then as the track progresses, more and more instrumentals are stacked on top. We have some simple synths that pretty much serve as the backbone of the album, and then a non-chorus with sequence beats. And lyrically, Lorde kind of reflects on this long-time relationship that she recently broke away from. You know, we took drugs in the backyard and kissed, and I gave you everything, so what was that? And lyrically, I cannot relate at all, obviously. I think there's barely anything on this album that I can relate to conceptually anyways. But it's a catchy song, and also Kyle MacLachlan danced to it, so automatically one of my favorites. Now, the rest of the album gets more and more simple as we move along. We have the track Shape Shifter, where the instrumentals are even more minimal. We have some muffled metallic clicks, hushed singing interwoven with spoken word, and maybe it's because the singing parts is a bit of a mess, so the entire structure of the song just came off kind of drab. And then we have Man of the Year, which is a pretty interesting song because I think this is one of the songs on the album where she sort of plays with gender expression and sort of toys with her gender identity. On this track, Man of the Year refers to some kind of fashion event, but also at the same time, it was a reflection of herself. What if she is a man? What if she enjoys the freedom of living a man's life? You know, swish mouthwash and jerking off, just like all the boys do. And I guess instrumentally, what kind of didn't really click with me is how the track kind of builds up and just fizzles out. Favorite Daughter, pretty much a song about daughter and mother relationship. And it's a pretty muted song with skippy beats, warm synths, pretty fun energy radiating from it, but I also didn't like the abrupt ending. Then the track Current Affairs sees Lorde meditate on her love life, bravery, motherhood, over some moody synths. We have some moaning and wailing in the background, which is pretty nice. We have a really weird sample, but it also kind of works, making this track one of the better ones on the album. Then Clear Blue is a 2-minute long interlude where her vocals are stacked up together and she sounds like a computer or something. Pretty forgettable track. I don't think it's even meant to be a full song. Then GRWM is, I guess, short for Grown Woman. And it's a song about being a grown woman, being born in 1996 in New Zealand, and what that means. And yeah, skeletal beats, very bare bones, not that memorable, unfortunately. Broken Glass, another personal track about self-hatred and eating disorders, which I appreciate the intimacy of the lyrics. I just don't think the peppy keyboards work for such a heavy and personal lyrical topic. That being said though, the last 2 tracks on the album are pretty great. We have If She Could See Me Now, which is a really strong track. We have these abrupt shots of distorted synths, a very DIY beat, and the production of this track is much more interesting than loads of tracks before this one. And it's also a great response to the previous track, because the previous track is about self-hatred, this one is about self-love. If she could see me now, if my old self could see the new self now. I guess this is one of the few moments where I could remotely maybe relate to, because hey, people change and people grow, and it's... Now, the album ends off with David, which is an emotional ballad. We have these building atmospheric keyboards. Lyrically, Lorde sings about connections, yearning, loving, and belonging. And it's also pretty good. Usually I don't like ballad endings because I think it's a cop-out, but I think this is a well-earned ballad ending, and yeah. So this album is not that bad. It didn't blow my mind or anything as well. Lots of tracks lyrically deal with similar issues and similar topics, and yeah, they're brave, they're intimate, but nothing that crazy or anything. Instrumentally, it's also a little weak here and there, but overall, I appreciate the album, I guess. I'm giving this one a light 6 out of 10. Light to decent 6. So, have you listened to the new Lorde album? Comments below, let me know, subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.